For those that used a lot of porn before losing your virginity, how did real sex compare to what you expected? Porn was like watching Marvel movies. Real sex was like trying to do my own stunts without a script. Messy, clumsy, but way more fun once you stop expecting special effects. We always give props to the camera people, but porn stars don't get enough credit for being literal pros at fucking. I've gained a newfound respect for them recently. Been hooking up with this girl for the past few weeks who exclusively wants to be absolutely fucking jackhammered for 95% of the time we are having sex. I consider myself to be in extremely good shape, but holy shit, after about 2 minutes I am exhausted and have to slow down. I don't understand how these dudes are just hardcore pumping for 5+ minutes at a time. Regular women do have a tendency to turn into the Scarlet Witch if you try that fishhook move. Not that I'd ever try it myself, of course. That's just what I've heard from people who have tried it. I always told my boyfriends, if you stick something in my mouth without my approval plus a decent time for me to decide if I want to have it in my mouth, expect that thing to be bitten off. They usually refrained from messing with me after that warning. A sensible policy that could be universally implemented. Obviously not. I thought girls would be into anal and slob in my knob, and in reality, I couldn't even get it up. Slob in my knob, faced with tears of joy classy. It was a complete disappointment and turned me off so much that for about 5 years, I was convinced that I was actually asexual and had no more interest in sex whatsoever. Turns out I just had an awful partner. Glad you figured that out. I dated a girl who was definitely asexual. It was not fun for me. I'm pretty sure I never made her come a single time. Everything just felt forced, and she wasn't enjoying it at all. And it was defeating thinking I was bad and not good enough. Then I dated a girl who loved sex and loved voluntarily giving random blowjobs. I could make her come in a minute and sometime 8 times. It was amazing. I missed that. I dated an anorgasmic stealth mode ace person too. Except I made her come for the first time, and she cried and told me she hated it. It's better to date people you're compatible with. Been there, done that. Odd having to console someone after giving them what should be the time of their life. Not saying that it's, or they're, a problem, but communication is key and the scenario should have been entirely avoidable. I made a girl orgasm and she literally climbed the wall. I was young and had little experience, so I didn't understand what was happening in the moment. May have been the same for her. I never asked TBH, so I just kept going. While she was being Spider-Woman. I'll never forget it. That is wild. I came way sooner than I expected/wanted. You know what? Almost 20 years after losing my virginity, it's still really hard not to blow my load if I am into it/sigh. Haha, for me, I couldn't even get it up my first time because my nerves were so bad and I just said I had whiskey dick in the moment. But that obviously wasn't true, lol. Second time where I actually had full-on sex, I couldn't even finish. I honestly couldn't even finish for the first 5 or 6 times we had sex either. Different now, but death grip is a very real thing that I learned about the hard * way. I actually could not come from vaginal sex the first handful of times. I think it was more because of how I jacked off and not just the porn. Also, using condoms added to the lack of sensation. What did you change to fix it? Not the person you replied to, but had the exact same issue with my first girlfriend. Basically, it just took the two of us working together, becoming more intimate, and trying different things. Graduating to sober sex instead of drunk college student sex helped a lot with the sensation. She was very understanding of the situation back then, and we worked through it till we were both able to finish, usually at the same time or nearly. But in the beginning, I usually took to the privacy of the bathroom to finish. In my experience, it was very rare for me to ever instantly click sexually with a girl, but so many people judge based off of first encounters before you even understand each other or their preferences. So in short, patience, communication, and emotional as well as physical attraction are what fixed it for me. I might be a fringe case. I never used porn as a form of connection, just purely a release. Therefore, when I finally had the real deal, it was the best. For me, the act of sex is more than just a release or whatever. It's a deep connection to the one you love. It's like playing a video game versus real life. That's where so many people fail to keep separated and why people say that porn is so harmful. If you can keep reality and fantasy separate, you are fine and can be healthy. Same, porn is just something that makes it easier to get off. A lot of the stuff I watch doesn't interest me IRL. Though can't relate to the connection part since I've both never had sex or felt connected to anyone in any way. Vaginas are a lot hotter, wetter, and tighter than I could ever make my hand. It was a pleasant surprise. Sex is also smelly, not in a bad way per se, but in a very noticeable way. The heat of a vagina is crazy and amazing. Honestly, for me, the temperature is almost the best part of putting it in. How often women have vaginal orgasms. I lost my virginity when I was 15. I didn't have my first vaginal orgasm till I was around 25. Also, how passionate and intimate it can be. Porn makes it seem almost animalistic. Having sex can sometimes be kinda goofy or silly, but honestly, I miss that level of intimacy. Making love, fucking. I think what people really mean is emotional connection, emotionless sex. My girl does not want that slow, tender kind of love. She expects to be railed into the mattress at both high speeds and depth, and anything less is me giving her a bad time. But we also kiss, and embrace, and whisper, and caress. So we definitely consider that making love, since we're expressing our love. Meanwhile, with my ex, it was just fucking. Sometimes it being animalistic is hot AF though. Imagine being out with your partner at a social gathering, and you flirt and tease each other all day. The second you come home, shoes and socks go flying. That shit is amazing. I realized that the porn videos take some skill, and not everything you see was pleasurable. I will say though, it helped communicate with my partner on things I wanted him to try with me. I was never that creative in bed, more just wanting to try things. This did help our sex life. What wasn't shocking? All the complaints about porn made by the kind of people who like to complain about things. I didn't expect my partner to act like a porn star. I didn't expect to last for hours my first time, etc. I didn't turn my brain off and blindly imitate weird porn star logic. That only happens in the imaginations of people who like to complain about stuff. What was surprising? Getting the rhythm right is tougher than I expected. Both when she was touching me and when I was touching her. How much you stick to each other. The hole was a lot further down under than I expected. It was AI. I mean, I have the ability to distinguish reality and fantasy. Porn is clearly in the fiction category and not representative of real sex. Impossible. Everyone knows fictional stories turn real inside your head. That's why we must stop video games, books, music, and movies too. Porn provides the visual stimulation. Actual sex provides the physical and emotional stimulation. The high after sex is nothing compared to the high after porn. I would argue there is little to no high after porn. I expected to be disappointed with the appearance of a real person compared to porn-perfect actors. I was not disappointed, far from it. The imperfections are what makes it real, unique, and better. It's like learning there really is magic in the world, and it's only one spell, but that one spell is enough. I know a few people who are really insecure about cellulite. I never saw any cellulite in production porn. As you said, makes it real, unique, and better. Real sex was great and awesome, but I think it affected me mentally. I take forever to finish during sex. It feels good, but haven't found anything that has the grip of my right hand yet. Death grip is a real thing. Maybe transition to using a sex toy or jerk off less. Easier said than done, I realize. Also, goddamn, men's toys are expensive. I had a side gig testing male sex toys, and oh my god, they are expensive, and some are downright scary. I quit when I was given an auto BJ machine. Before use, I would turn a toy on and let it run a little bit. I turned this one on, and immediately a piece snapped off inside, and turned into something like a serrated knife that went into the sleeve you stick your dick into, and tore the whole thing up. Quit right then, called them up, and told them the issue. I was out. I was answering more as a young guy, since the question was about losing your virginity. When I hit 35 or so, things changed for me. I have the most intense orgasms now. They still take a little bit to build up, but they're fantastic. Things when I was younger could have been related to always being drunk or high when having sex, but not 100% sure that was completely it. Real sex was fucking awesome. I love the feeling of vulnerability, of not knowing how someone will react, of having to interact with them. There's no way you can get that from porn. I discovered porn young. I was watching ripped dudes with big dicks pound down on beautiful women. You'd think that would ruin things. But then I stood in front of a 15-year-old boy and just quivered in excitement as we undressed. No porno can give that. He was a scrawny little 4 eyes, doesn't matter. Was a virgin till 30. I watched a lot of porn. I thought I would be desensitized to real sex, and it would be difficult. It felt amazing. I was the best she ever had. I did no better than to emulate what I saw. I did what I felt she would like, and listened to what she wanted. I didn't come immediately, had been warned my whole life that would happen. I just took it slow and didn't overdo it. As far as feeling it felt better by leagues for me, the cum was way more intense. It probably helped that the passion between us was high, and we had both wanted it so bad, and she has been my only partner, I am not hers. I may have gotten very lucky, but my experience was amazing. There are several angles to it. For the most part, one didn't know what to expect really. I only knew from books and porn how the women's body worked, but never really thought about her part of it. Yes, I was focused on her pleasure, but more from a sort of mathematical perspective. Took me some time to learn how the shared act worked. The first, I had so much anxiety that I didn't really experience it fully. All the new experiences and sensations and fear of being a 1-minute man. I went 30 minutes, but I wish I had been more present. In general, porn is like eating a quick piece of bread, while sex is a perfect pizza on the right day, a 3-course candlelight dinner, or a well-cooked roast with fresh potatoes, greens, and gravy. The hole was a lot further down under than I expected. I still have trouble some 30-plus years later. Man facepalming. First and foremost, I was a lonely and secluded teen who jerked off to porn as just a hit of dopamine. End results is that too frequent and aggressive of masturbation can cause the penis to lose the feeling of satisfaction, by which I mean one could, like myself, rub themselves to the point of not being able to either stay hard during sex or let alone even come. Real sex as opposed to porn was like another comment I read here. It's like watching a well-choreographed video of martial arts. Yet when you go out to perform yourself, you actually have to understand yourself and your partner, and it can be awkward at first and have to be guided in on occasion for doggy. Lastly, overthinking is a killer. Don't get me wrong, blowjobs are amazing. I've just never had any woman I've been with make me come just with head, but I've lasted a good 5 minutes my first time. Porn in my teens was images and rarely video, but my hard drive was full of it. I was not expecting noises, odors, conversation, or for it to be so dark. I lasted way too long the first time because of so many distractions weirding me out. She also refused to take 50 stuffies off the bed. We were both 19, and she had stuffies like a 12-year-old. Oddly enough, now if I am trying to avoid nutting early, I think about a stuffy judging me. I was always annoyed by the fake moaning, the jackhammering, the aggressive choking in porn. Watched mostly homemade, especially since porn is fiction. I was surprised at how the hole was lower, how warm it felt. My first time was really good. I didn't come the first time, but the second time I did. It's weird, but I always come the fastest in doggy. I also used porn to see how to give oral in advance. It worked, with some slight adjustments in my technique, thanks to my GF. I always give her oral until orgasm before penetration. Recently, I've been practicing my strokes and moving back and forth like if waves are hitting a boat is the right approach currently. Practicing my Kegels helped a lot. Desensitized and twisted my view on sex and myself to a degree where I don't see myself ever being touched or touching someone else. I know it's weird, but watching too much porn turned me into an asexual. Don't get me wrong, I still get horny, but that's that. There is no joy in coming. It has become a task. Not even a pause of 3 months changed anything. I used to jerk off 3 to 4 times a day, and that was over 18. As a teen, my record was 8 or 9 times in one damn day. I lasted way too long. Eventually, I had to say, okay, I think I'm good on this now. This became a real problem I didn't know I had. Guys would actually get upset about this, which created a confidence issue. Also, you can't just close the laptop and go about your day. Tending to someone else's needs is a whole thing. I still prefer handling things privately versus having a partner. I chalk that up to having my own personal laptop at 13. It's porn addiction. I developed a porn addiction and couldn't come during sex. Basically was what I expected. But distinguishing fiction from reality has never been difficult for me. By the way, your bias is showing through. Most normal people don't say they use porn, they watch or read porn. It's a language construct among deeply religious or otherwise conservative groups to refer to porn using the same language as drugs. This is born out of and reinforces the negative stigma associated with the activity. If you want to sound scientific without showing your bias on future similar questions, the standard term in scientific literature would be to consume porn. TLDR, it was awesome. I had watched and masturbated to a lot of porn before that. I had ideas, but it was way better than I thought. My girlfriend at the time came over to my house when my parents were gone. We started watching Titanic, and about 10 minutes in she starts initiating things. I was such an excited, horned up, naive 18-year-old. Could have sworn I was dreaming. I know we were having sex for at least 20 minutes. I watched that clock like a hawk. Can't be quick, gotta last until she's done. When she said I needed to finish. Another 5 minutes and I did. First thing she says after is, "Are you sure you're a virgin?" 100%. Well, that was impressive. We have a few things for you to work on, but overall that was good. We're definitely doing this more. I'm a naturally curious person, so once I found porn and figured out what some things were called, I asked Jeeves and this new thing called Google what they were and did my research. Porn was entertaining, but also helped me see how things work, so to speak. Porn equals entertainment fantasy, like a superhero movie. Real sex equals passion and lots of physical exhaustion due to me realizing 1. Sex is tiring and core strength is needed, and 2. I'm sensitive as fuck down there despite being circumcised.